Hey there, everybody. So this is part two of the video I started talking about the JodyVision and how it ties in with JodyVision because they were my favorite band growing up. And what I was saying as I was leaving that video is I'm really interested in how I can be useful as an artist, or or what people might want to start taking into consideration these days. Because I feel like back in the day, when all this stuff was coming out, it seemed like it was such an exciting time for music, and some of the best music. Okay, I was making a little joke online about how like the best industrial music comes from people that are like my dad's age, the people that were born in the 50s. Those are part of the baby boomer, the baby boomers. And I was just thinking, like some of the best techno that was coming out in the 80s was like kind of coming from this sort of post-industrial group of musicians like Front 242 and Clock DVA, and so I was like, man, these guys were making really good techno. In fact, so I was thinking about, these guys are all like closer to my dad's age, so this is all boomer techno. So not all industrial music has a techno sound, but I do kind of laugh about that. 'Cause you think about it, these this is an older generation of people that are going on 70 right now, and these people were making some of the best techno music. And so you might find for me so like I was talking about earlier, like when I was 5 years old, I realized Kraftwerk was like my favorite band. But I also had other favorite bands like Cabaret Voltaire, Joy Division, Wire. I really liked the stuff my dad was playing, and I was aware of commercial music and stuff as well. But I knew that the music I heard at home I liked more than the music I heard out and about. What's playing on the radio. And so anyway, so it's kind of a point I'm making about I was so young when I liked this music, because I still feel like this is core to my values as far as my taste in music goes, and what is relevant to me to this day. So I think there's a certain group of people out there that I consider my community, because you might still feel like, oh, this was a valuable time in music. Like you really loved Joy Division and Cabaret Voltaire and Throbbing Gristle, all this type of stuff. I kind of feel like I'm second generation. Like this is my dad's music, and the only reason I know about it is because he's the one that was playing it for us at the house. And but the thing is I guess I just like it more than everything else I've heard, and I just feel like now I'm kind of coming around. Like this is like now I'm in my 40s. I'm much older now than the time I was talking about 40 years ago. This is the music I cared about. And funny thing is like I listen to this music from time to time, and like it's not what I listen to all the time. I mean, I listen to a lot of different other stuff, and but somehow it's like kind of becoming important. I mean, I just feel like I kind of want to come back to that energy, or maybe to that type of music. But the thing is you can never recreate it. What you really got to look at is what's fundamental to that era of music, and what's fundamental is being intuitive, and kind of playing what feels natural to you. So that's what kind of helped these guys a lot. A lot of these guys will tell you, they wanted to break boundaries. Obviously, they didn't like what was coming out, and they just wanted to go the opposite direction and just go to the extent that you're just like not even making music. So we had what you called non-music. So there was that. It was just like we just really need to like just destroy everything we know and start over. So that's why I think these guys may have called this the Records of Civilization. So I got this book. I probably only read a little bit of it because I got busy, and it's kind of funny to think that's what they called their book. But some of these people were just like, let's just wreck everything and start over. Um, and then I mentioned earlier, so I got these stacks here. So I got all this Joy Division stuff because this was like the thing I really wanted to learn from. And I got this from my dad. Cabaret Voltaire was definitely one of my favorite bands. I remember ever since I was a little kid. So that just kind of explains to me. They called their book The Sixth Sense. They'd probably love to hear my story. Kraftwerk was that was the first band I declared as a favorite. So I might notice that in my is I really like all the more techno-y sounding stuff. So that's probably why I like New Order so much. They had a good techno sound. Cabaret Voltaire, the further they went, the more they turned into like a trance techno band. And of course later on, I'm been talking about Frontline Assembly. He's done a lot of really cool techno-y sounding stuff. Now something you got to take into consideration about this music is Okay, so this is a little bit of what I know, so that's why I have this here to share. That I've read these books, research. I've tried to get this guy to consider doing ones for Skinny Puppy and Frontline Assembly. I really wish he would do that. That would be kind of cool. Or somebody take an interest. And then this is your study of like electronic music and krautrock and stuff. Brian Eno, so I've got some good stuff here. But you gotta take into consideration about some of this music. So these people were taking LSD. Like we talk about throbbing gristle. I mean, look at uh, Genesis Piorge. Kind of what got him in trouble. And he was really proud that he was friends with Timothy Leary. And if you think about it, so was Alan Jorgensen. And then this is now you gotta understand, LSD was created in the 40s. And then later on, this guy in the 60s was, experimenting with it. And so LSD, as well as electricity, has changed the course. So, like, I don't condone taking drugs or doing anything illegal or dangerous, but it is a part of music history. So, the development of electricity, the discovery of LSD, and this whole counterculture. These people are kind of going the opposite direction of what they're seeing on the media, what the media provides to the general public, and so that's where I feel like this was an interesting era, like where they had to kind of take things to an extreme in the opposite direction of where things are going. But I'm more somebody that's middle of the road. I'm more like so I like New Order because I felt like they had a more like I was saying, it's safer to play around my friends. It sounds more like normal music. But strangely, they were part of the scene, and since I've gotten older, I've been following electronic music. That's my favorite thing, and the stuff I like the most, it probably resembles either Kraftwerk or Richard Kirk or something like that. And I like progressive trance or psychedelic trance. So I listen to Christopher Lawrence quite a bit, and so I kind of went from listening to like the underground electronic music, or actually Kraftwerk were the very first electronic band to get played on the radio, but then we were listening to Tangerine Dream. Then I started listening to industrial music with my dad, and then later on, a lot of this industrial bands started getting more techno-y all the time, and then even then, like Wax Trax Records was kind of hosting a lot of those post-industrial bands. They ended up putting stuff like what they were calling intelligent electronica on their label, and since then I've been following that type of stuff, and I really love to listen to his Christopher Lawrence Pharmacy Radio. So I'm gonna take a break right here and make another video to share a little bit more about the music I listen to, and I'll talk to you in a moment.